Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to be your host, the Irrelevant Nerd. Today, we're going to be talking about X-Men 97. So, I decided to rewatch this show recently. I was kind of just Googling to see when the second season was coming out, was bummed to see that it's probably not coming out until next year, and the release date is still unconfirmed, so it could potentially be later, but I decided to rewatch it since I was right there, and man, am I just blown away by this show. And I really think that this show is a perfect example of how to do nostalgia correctly. We'll start off with the animation. I think the new animation is such a great continuation of what they were doing before, but it looks and feels more modern. And what I really like is, even though it is a throwback style of animation to the 90s, there is something about it that feels distinctly a little bit cutting edge in the way that they're doing it. It just has a vibrancy to the look of it. And I really do think they managed to pick up right where they left off and improve on some things, like some of the action sequences with Cyclops in particular. The way that he uses his concussive blasts are so cool. Like, he uses them for transportation or to slide around the floor to get around some people who are trying to shoot him. It's awesome. It's fantastic. And then you look at the voice cast and you have a ton of people returning, and you have also a ton of people returning, but as new characters, and they did newer voices for some of them. And then obviously some of the voice actors have unfortunately also passed, so they just weren't available for the project, because I mean, you know, the show's 30 years old at this point. And so I really think that the old cast did a really good job. I thought the new cast did a really good job. And I like even some, like, you look at Wolverine. When they initially showed the trailer, voice actor came on, I thought it sounded terrible. I was like, oh my god, that doesn't sound like what he used to at all. I don't think that's what he'd sound like now. And then you get into the show and it just fits perfectly. It just kind of picks it right back up. And the intricacy of some of the plot lines when you're going through, especially for just a 10 episode animated show that is technically a kids show. I think that you can actually argue that this is a show more made for adults, because it is made for the fans of the original, and we're all, you know, late 20s, early 30s, 40s now. So it plays so well though to a new crowd. Like, I showed it to my son when he was 11. Loved it, fell in love immediately, wanted to go back and watch the original, which I admittedly should have shown him first, but I was so excited when I was watching through X-Men 97 the first time. I was like, buddy, you gotta see this show. And he just became encapsulated in the world within like the first 15 minutes of the first episode. Is all he wanted to do was keep watching it. And then when we finished those episodes, he wanted to go back and watch the original X-Men animated series from the 90s. So it does a really good job of using the nostalgia to pull the old people in, but is still an exciting, engaging, and quality enough production to bring in new fans. And again, it just really speaks to, this is how you do nostalgia right. You honor the characters, you honor the writing, you honor the story arcs that were there before, while gradually introducing new ones, gradually introducing new characters that in no way take away from the old characters. And this is how you do it. And I think of all of the episodes in this season, I believe it's episode 5, where it's called Remember It, and it's the, spoiler alert, it's the one where Gambit unfortunately passes away. But that scene is so ripe with emotion. Like, I was literally on the verge of tears for this animation, and that's not nothing. Not every animation can do that. I mean, you have ones like Wild Robot will pull a lot of tears, but there are tons of animated movies that, even in the sad moments, even in the touching moments, they don't make you cry. They kind of make you go like, aw, like it's a nice moment. But this show is devastating, and Rogue's reaction, and you can hear the hurt in her voice. Like, you can hear it the second her voice starts to crack. And you keep going through the season and you have these repercussions of this attack, which Cable tells them is like, this is a fixed point in time. No matter what we do, no matter where we go, it's going to happen, and Sebastian is going to use it to launch this war. So they instead try to track Sebastian down instead of trying to do anything to stop this fixed point in time. And it's revealed that he's like a mutant machine hybrid. He's a character that I am only semi-familiar with. Like, I've read some of the stories that he's in, but when they initially pulled him up on screen, I did have to kind of just go refresh myself on who the character was. But the way that it ends, especially when you have Magneto's story arc through this whole season of trying to be this leader and actually move mutants forward, but also honoring Charles Xavier's, quote unquote memory, which I thought that played a really good duality of his character. And even so, when you split the X-Men, when Rogue takes his side, and again, it just pulls so much on these emotional strings because you love these characters, you know how they're connected. So when you see Rogue turn against them, it's really painful. And the introduction of her previous relationship with Eric, I thought added an interesting fold. It played a little awkward when I first realized that that's what they were doing, but I quickly kind of fell into how it changed the dynamic between her and the team, her and Gambit, and just how you would view Magneto. And it brings us these great moments, like such as when Magneto rips the metal or the adamantium out of Wolverine. It's a very famous moment in comics. It's often talked about amongst fans, and even though it's not exactly the same as it was done in the comics, it was still so great to see. Like, my jaw dropped when that happened. I was like, what a fantastic way to close out an episode. Like, it was so good. It was such a beautiful moment to see. And I mainly, like, you look at the characterization of Charles Xavier, I thought was done perfect. There's a lot of distrust between him and the team, questioning about his motives on Earth as well as when he's out in space. And even when he comes back, they try to use it to be like, oh my god, the mutants were lying, and his team doesn't necessarily trust him, especially Cyclops is very kind of hurt by his relationship with Charles Xavier, which I don't think the movies did a very good job of showing how strained Xavier's relationship becomes with his students over time. And they question him, and this show put it perfectly without it just seeming like soap opera-y in family drama. I think it plays across really organically, and I'm really excited for what the potential future seasons could hold. I am a little concerned about everything that happened with Beau DeMayo. I don't think they've released the specifics. I've never seen exactly what he was accused of, just some toxic work culture behaviors, and a bit of a egomaniac from what I've heard, but he very clearly has a love and a passion for these characters and their stories. And so I know that they're reworking some of season 2 to kind of change what he wrote, and then they have a new writer for season 3, and that admittedly does make me a little nervous, just because I thought this first season was damn near perfect. Like, the only thing that keeps it from being an absolute perfect episode or a perfect season for me is one episode. It's episode 4, the one where Jubilee gets sucked into the game. I don't dislike the episode. It was just kind of pointless compared to the rest, which I do know that the old show had those, but these are very short 10-episode seasons of 30 episodes apiece. So when all of them seem to matter and progress the story forward, when you have one that doesn't, it kind of stands out. Again, I have a lot of fun with the episode. It's just very easily my least favorite, and it is such an obvious weak spot that it's really the only thing that keeps it from being perfect. So I, can't quite go A+, but it is an A, like a 9.6, 9.7. We're going to go with 9.7 because it's X-Men 97. And if you're not watching it, you need to. I don't see enough traction on the internet. I don't hear enough people talking about this show, and it deserves the love because, as I've said multiple times, this is how you do nostalgia correctly. Ooh, and also, side note, I do want to say that I feel like this show uses Wolverine the perfect amount. I have always thought the best way to incorporate Wolverine in, or to think about it, is he is the icing on the cake. You cannot have a cake entirely of icing. It will be disgusting. It's too much. And I understand that Hugh Jackman was the breakout actor of all of the X-Men, and that's why he's been so heavily focused on. But I don't think he's the character to carry that much screen time. And I think that shows because some of the Wolverine movies are not the best. You have Logan, which is fantastic, and you can have individually great stories with him, but when you're actually having a team X-Men movie, he should not be your focus. This is how to do it. He is a complement character, he's a flavor character, he is not the main course, and he should not be, even though he is mega badass. So let me know what you think of this show. Have you seen it? Is it shitty? Like, do you hate it? Let me know why you hate it. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.